Decoding Learning Differences with Kimberlynn Lavelle, and this episode is Motivational Belief. So in this episode, we are actually talking about belief in your child and how your belief and your opinion of them can motivate them. So I touched on this briefly previously. I think it was in the gratitude episode where I'm saying thank you before my child has actually done it. Or my student has actually done it because I believe that they will. I've actually been doing this in different ways since my kids were really little. And basically, as soon as they were able to be left in a room by themselves for a few minutes, I might say something like, okay, the block needs to get picked up, and then I walk away with the belief and the assumption that they will pick up the block that needs to be picked up. So, and that has been very motivating for them. They have risen to that. Like, I assume that they're going to do what they're supposed to do. I'm not getting into a back and forth. I'm not standing over them to make sure they do the thing. I have a belief that they will. And if I come back and it's not picked up, then I'm going to just follow up with, hey, your block's not picked up. With my students, I have a belief that they're going to make great progress. And that belief drives everything I do. So even if I'm not saying anything to like trick them into doing something, I am working from a place of, I know you can do this. And sometimes that looks like giving them something to read, knowing that they have the knowledge to be able to read it. And then I'm just sitting in my belief that they will be able to read it, that they can read whatever it is I've given them to read. So they might be struggling and they might look at me like, is it right? You know, that like look on their face, like, is it right? Did I say it right? And they're looking at me and I'm just looking back at them and waiting for them to read and keep going. Sometimes I'm like nodding, like, you've got this. But you know what the sounds are? Something like that. Like, I believe in you, right? Giving that and not being quick to rescue, not being quick to give the word or give the answer. Like, I believe in you. You've got this. We'll just wait until it clicks. That's okay. It's okay if it takes a little bit of time, right? I believe in you. So genuinely believing in the best, believing your child can do something, believing your child will do something, believing your child has those abilities and desires and is believing that they're motivated can motivate them. Even if you're not saying it, if you sit with that belief and spend some time saying to yourself, I believe that my child is a motivated child. They are motivated to learn, right? You're saying it to yourself. You're believing it. Those affirmations you're saying to yourself will play out in the way you react to your child, and it will impact their belief in themselves. At least that's been my experience. Okay, another example is when you're done with this, you just have your math to do. We'll watch TV after that, and then walk away. A big key here is, like, especially in like that parenting realm, but even educationally, if it's something I know they can do on their own, I'm not waiting to see if they will, unless I'm supposed to be listening to them read or something, like, okay. But if it's something I know they can do on their own, especially from a parent of a child who's struggling, I'm still going to look at them and expect them to do it and be listening for it. You know, I'm going to cook while you're reading. You don't need me to sit next to you and tell you the words. You just need to practice. And I'm here if you get stuck or forget what a letter says. I'm here. I'll help you. And before I help my students, I say things like that. Oh, did you forget that letter? Oh, is your brain giving you a hard time today? Do you need help on that one? And I'm checking with them. Do you need help today? It's not an assumption. I'm not giving it to them, but it's also not you know what that says. They might not today or right now. It just flew the coop. They don't know. I believe they're trying their best. I believe that they have the ability to learn it. That's why I'm spending my time teaching it, right? So I believe in them 100%. And that belief plays out in their progress and how well they do. Okay, your takeaway today: assume your child will do as they should, will do their best, will be their best. That will motivate them to do whatever it is they're supposed to without nagging. You don't need to be nagging them. You don't need to be on them. Just believing in who they are and what they're capable of with some directives. You know, you can't just wake up and go, I believe my children will clean the room without me saying anything. You got to set some things up for success. But believe that when you say that they're going to do it, that they'll do it. And then if they don't be too mad about it. Just set that expectation every time, and it does get better. Okay. What are your thoughts? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you agree with me? Is this something you want to try? Let me know. Kimberlynn at decodinglearningdifferences.com. I love hearing from you. I love hearing your stories. I love answering your questions. So if you have an IEP that needs some eyes on it to see, is this goal worth anything? Is it horrible? Reach out to me and we can draft some goals that I'll use as an example on the podcast. If you just want like one little thing, I can use it as an example on the podcast, free of charge to you, and you get the information right away. So you can email me, again, Kimberlynn at decodinglearningdifferences.com. And of course, if you do want more intensive support, looking at the whole thing, making it beautiful, we can also do that, and we can set up a consultation for that. So last time, Kimberlynn at decodinglearningdifferences.com. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you again next week.